So this is a recap for live stream 329. And while today I'll be leaving the day with P&L, it is a day of frustration and relief. Started the day, I had connection issues. I had internet issues, so I tried to stream several times. Was being disconnected, so I ended up having to record the stream and uploaded it in 2 separate videos, which was not ideal, but connection issues also affected my trading. First, we'll have a look at gold. Most of our difficulties today came on this instrument. So on gold, we normally come to the market about 11:30 EST. Had this breakout to the upside. We saw about $50 of movement to the upside. This sort of move with this high volume that we saw, symptomatic of some sort of news in the market. I'm not a fan of news, of course, because it certainly affects price action and my reading of the market. So what I did was the market set up. I went long a couple of times here, ended up having to close for a loss, then went short, ended up closing that for a loss, went short here, closing that for a loss over there. I believe I went short, possibly took profits there. And over here, well, it must have been took off this trade over here as well. So that might have been a long that hit profit. And that was pretty much it. So overall, as the market was in this range, what's that? As the market was in this range, I was accumulating losses. So during the lunchtime period on gold, I was just simply getting chopped up, accumulating losses. And as I noticed the volume falling off a bit as we got later into the day, I decided to put this X in to indicate I would no longer be trading gold. So whatever the news was, I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to check it out after the market. It certainly distorted price action a fair bit. And it also added a degree of volatility. It became difficult to have a handle on the market. So a bit of a head and shoulders there, but it was difficult. Now, when I started the day in a positive on trades on ES and NQ. I was up over 110 pretty early on within the first 5 minutes of trading. And this was at a time where I had the connection issues. I decided I wanted to continue trading throughout the day, seeing if I could get a bigger day, but that wasn't to be the case. Instead, what I did was I gave back profits, a huge amount of profits, drew the account down by a massive amount, and ultimately had to battle back to being in profit. So likewise, like we saw over on gold, we had some sort of news event that took place around 10:54 Eastern Standard Time. We can see the spike in volume, which was actually higher than the opening candle. So the opening candle normally has the highest volume of the day. Whatever this news event was, it caused a huge spike in volume, pretty much almost double the volume we'd see on the open. Had the market come down. In hindsight, this looks like a bit of an inverted head and shoulders, which is a bullish pattern. So came into the market. I had this is the short that contributed a large part to me being up 110 at the start of the day. So the market tried to rally off the move down of the high volume, increasing volatility. Saw it as a price move between levels. Large candles indicating a lot of volatility. Also had volume alerts triggering, suggesting a lot of volume wasn't taking place in the market. Market rallied, came up, went short, took profits pretty early there. Was a bit concerned about the volatility. Price then turned around to the upside. I went long, I believe. Yep, went long. Price came down and I got stopped out, or may have closed a position. Not got stopped out, I think. May close a position, went long again, looking for that bigger move to the upside. Didn't take profit at the designated levels, was looking for a move up to 99.50. Of course, the designated level for this long, the target should have been either here or up at the 96s, but decided that I wanted to take a bigger move to the upside, and that was primarily because I was in a drawdown on gold. So prices came down, decided to get out of that position there, as I didn't like the price action. As prices came, it actually, the target was 99.50, price came to 99.50, wasn't filled, came back to my frustration. Eventually decided to get out, take profits, went short through here, and eventually took profits here. The target was down at 88.75, but due to ES consolidating, I did not like that in terms of price action. I was very concerned that with ES consolidating, it may turn around to the upside and may attack the higher day. So took those off for a break even. Prices did eventually come down to 88.75, the design target. Prices turned around, went long, took profits as a designated point. Then this long here was a bit FOMO, but thought prices, the price action suggested that, especially as we put in quite a fair amount of volume here, could be seen on the volume profile. So through this area on ES, as we had a bit of a fake out to the downside, which would have been that move that would have hit the target here. So on a 5-minute chart, it is this move here into that low volume on the volume profile. Decided to go long because I thought, well, if it's faked out all the shorts and then gone long, it should continue higher. So after that trade there, went long and took profits there at the 99 and called it a day on ES at that point. Over on NQ, and let's get NQ situated. So had a similar trade, went short, took profits. Over here, thought prices may have retraced this entire candle here off the high volume. Prices did not, but went long, took profits, went long again, added to the position. Price came back, was stopped out. Had me going to a bit of a drawdown there, went long again, looking for that bigger move, looking for the move up to 79.50. Wasn't designed target. Design target you're probably looking at best at around that 49. Decided to go for a bigger move. Wanted to recover the losses accumulated across gold, and eventually closed the position as price action seemed like he was struggling along with ES. Went short. That one hit the take profits to the downside. Was a bit more compliant than ES. Over on NQ finally went long. Hit the target here again. This was the similar to the fake out over on ES. So if we go over to the NQ chart, it was similar, not quite the same, because the low volume here was all the way down at 13. So had a bit of a fake out of this range that we were consolidating in. As we can see on the volume profile, we're putting a fair amount of volume there. Had a bit of a fake out right there through the lows, and it went higher, went long, took profits. Again, a bit of a FOMO chase. Thought prices could go attack the highs, so went long. And what happened was I was looking for the 60.25. Now, what happened? I trailed my stop up, and prices got as high as 59.50. 3 ticks from target, came back, and I was stopped out to my frustration. Of course, we can see in hindsight here, prices did eventually go on to hit that 60.50. Thought about getting back in, but decided not to push my luck, especially as this was a bit of a chase, looking for that move up towards the regular trading hour highs. Well, not quite the regular trading hour highs, one of the peaks of regular trading hours. Of course, we can see here now that prices have gone up pretty close towards the regular trading hour highs as we've broken again. But that was pretty much it. I decided I'd walk away, especially as these trades that I've taken at the end of day on both the ES and NQ were beyond the 2.5 hours I set for my trading for the day. So we'll have a look at the account. On the account, I believe we started the account down at 49,575, up at 496. These are the trades. So these 2 trades within the first 5 minutes of trading set me up over 100. At that point, I believe. Yep, they were at that point. This was the high point in my P&L at 559.875. As you can see, we've given back a fair bit, but that wasn't the story of the day. So after that, I had another winner, bringing my account up to the 583. So at this point, I was feeling pretty good about trading on the day, despite the fact that I kept having issues with the internet and being disconnected. From there, this is where I fell very short in terms of trading. So from there, had a bigger loss on gold at 62. Also had a much bigger loss on NQ at 87.5s. Smaller losses, gold 37.5s, but through a series of accumulated losses, I was drawing down the account, as we can see, from that 583 was down to the 360s. 21, slowly losing the account here. Bigger loss over on gold at 76, took us all the way down to 241. So I was really getting punished on gold. Some really dramatic. This is interesting. Some really big losses over there on gold. Finally, from the lows in terms of P&L, I was able to accumulate a series of winning trades on ES and NQ primarily. 38.69, pretty much a break even there at 8. After which picked up 25.63, the break evens on ES as I was concerned about a consolidation. Picked up a smaller win there on NQ, smaller win there on ES. These are the trades taken at the end of the day beyond the 2.5 hours. I picked up a 14 and a smaller win on that trailing stop at 5.5. So with that, the account ended the day up at 496. What I'll do is I'll bring over the trade performance. Now, the trade performance is very strange. I'll just disclaimer that, because despite me downloading the data directly from here, the data shows a difference in terms of the P&L. So it should be around 46,475, the difference between yesterday's account balance and today's account balance. But for whatever reason, I've just used the numbers from today on the account. It has me at a P&L of 115,025. I'm unsure why that is, but that's just the data from today for whatever reason. Now let's talk about the trades. So we've had a 74% win rate. This is let's get that back. So 74% win rate, 28 average win, 53 average loss. Not great. So we can see 86% win percentage on NQ. We look at the P&L, 135 to 50, 6 winners, 1 loser, 86%. Average loser being that 87,500. So that 1 loser was huge in terms of the account. Over on ES, again, we're batting at 100% on ES at the moment. So we've got 100%, 6 trades, 100% accuracy, accumulated 105,625. For whatever reason, these market conditions are compatible with ES. The average win being 17,604. No losses, so that's not applicable. And this is where we did suffer some of the bigger losses. So over on gold, we had 6 trades. Total losses equaled 182. Total gains equal 71. We can see the total of that being 1 minus 111. 2 wins, 4 losses, 33% accuracy. The average win being smaller than the average loss. So again, I suppose it's a feature of this strategy that the average win is going to be smaller than the average loss, but it's made up for in terms of win percentage. But on the occasions where the win percentage is not suitable, I'm of course going to accumulate fairly sizable losses. So that is a feature of the current strategy I am using, but I am unsure. I'm just trying to figure out how it is that there's such a difference in terms of the P&L, because I've used the exact same calculations, the exact same spreadsheet formulas that I've been using over the past couple of weeks to pull in the data directly from TradingView. I'm unsure as to why it's saying 115.025 rather than 46.475. But overall, it was a profitable day, a very difficult day, especially with that drawdown from the 583s down to the 241s. With that said, we'll come back tomorrow. Maybe. We'll come back tomorrow, see what the market brings. That's it for now. Oh, and another thing, I did kind of think a symptom of my strategy. I was looking over my strategy yesterday. What I found was that price action and whether there's a catalyst in the market has the biggest bearing of whether these strategies, any strategy I use, is profitable or not. So it's definitely something I have to think about, how I can filter out days which are going to be difficult. Again, today with the pickup in volatility, it was another difficult day in terms of trading. Of course, the account took a huge hit through that drawdown, but I'm just happy to end the day profitable. And with that said, thanks for watching. Good luck trading. Have a great day.